Hey guys, this is Sabina. Welcome back to Day-to-Day Chess. Although the World Cup is over and everybody's sorry about it, it's been a great experience to watch it and definitely kept us checking the games every day. But don't worry, the torch of chess has always an ongoing flame. This is a really nice quote that I made up with my fiance today, so we are kind of happy about it. Anyways, so many tournaments are being played these days. The Boykovsky Karpov tournament that is about to be over. Then we also have the Women's Grand Prix in Monaco, as well as in Isle of Man, the Poker Stars. So, and yeah, by the way, in 1 day or two, I think the Millionaire Chess is gonna start. So, definitely so many tournaments with great games being played that we can always, find a nice game to look at and have so much to learn from. So, given that we have so many things, it was so tough for me to figure out which game to choose for today. Because every single tournament has a great game that can be analyzed and shown. And aside from all of that, of course, we still have the classics that I really enjoy looking at and, giving you guys tons of ideas of how to improve your chess, what to look for in a game and stuff like that. But while all these tough and strong tournaments are going on, I thought I'd choose a nice game for you guys. So for today, I went for this one. Koop or Koop, Thorben. I'm sorry, I do not know how to pronounce his name. If somebody knows how to pronounce it exactly, please let me know. I think it's Koop Thorben, but I might be wrong. He's a German, 17 or 18-year-old young man, and he played against Jan Timman in the 4th round of the Poker Stars in the Isle of Man. So that's the tournament and the game I chose for today. Maybe the game of the day. And let me tell you why. Well, this kid, he's a kid, right? But he's 24 or 7. It seems that last year in August he was about 2200, and he was there for quite some time. And then with this new K factor, he was able to win 200 rating points and arrive at 2400. Compared to other youngsters that I've noticed that gained so much rating and then started losing it, he seems to maintain that level. So the K factor definitely showed that he had gained a lot of strength and was ready to prove himself as a strong 2400, or well, around 2400 level. And he played against Jan Timman, who everybody knows. He in the 70s, late 70s, for about 20 years, he was a top player in the world. He played in the candidates for the World Cup many times. In 1993, he also, unfortunately, he lost against Karpov, but he was the 3rd Grandmaster of the Netherlands. So definitely great achievements. He's still playing chess as the redactor of New in Chess. So definitely has lots of knowledge. Let's see how a youngster nowadays has played against one of the elite chess players. Okay, now maybe doesn't play chess that much, but definitely has a great experience. So let's see what happened in that game. He started with d4. Okay, what is this? The name's are Indian, okay, but it's transposed to a Benoni. I call this an accelerated Benoni. There might be some other names as well. Because accelerated, because here Timman went for b5, Jan Timman. So this is kind of some system that Topalov also chose to play. Actually, okay, Timman is famous for having tried this before. And the thing here is the idea for black is, of course, in normal Benonis you play e3 later on after you play e6, and after you play g6, and then white manages to play some a4, and it's tough for black to play a b5 because, with the knight in c3 and everything, black doesn't really manage to play b5. So you're not playing a Volga right here. He played on another move order, but he's not playing the Volga like this. He has this pawn traded off first, and then he plays b5. So that's that's kind of cool, a cool system for black. But white has some nice systems against it, and here we're gonna see one chosen by Koop Thorben. So he played knight f3 here, which actually is not the most popular move. Bishop g2 seems to have been played more, and well, what does white try to do? Well, of course, finish his development, but while black is trying to play on the queen side, white gets the control over the center and tries to play eventually some e4, e5, and starting some attacking in the center. So basically after d6, he goes for e4. That's why, you know, we are playing bishop to g2 first. But it seems that they also invented some system where they're actually sacrificing some material. So let's see how that goes. Knight f3. And here, Jan Timman went for g6, which is not the most popular. Bishop b7 and d6 have been played. Bishop b7 seems to have been the latest thing played by Christian Bauer. So if you are interested in playing this system with black, maybe you want to check Bauer's game. And here bishop b7 with the idea of putting pressure in d5 quite fast and force white to play e4, because, for example, if you just would play knight c3 here, maybe there's b4 and I get the pawn. So e4, knight takes e4. So white basically gives away the e4 pawn. He's not going to take in b5. Don't worry. He's actually there's a possibility actually to take in b5 that Bauer played. That game was like this: queen a5 check, knight d2, bishop e7, bishop c4. This is one possibility. But something else that white did here was bishop g2 and actually play with the pawn sacrifice. But because the king is in the center, white is going to try to utilize black's king in the center. So now after bishop e7 castle, okay, and now we have a pawn down, so we gotta figure out some fast way of getting it back. Rook e1 has been played here, and after f5, knight c3. So white does remain with a pawn down for some time, but given his superiority in development, okay, there was the game between Grishchuk and Moisenko. Definitely in 2009, that definitely deserves being checked here for white. This position is a little bit crazy, but I'd recommend it if you are an attacking player. So, anyways, in this game, Timman didn't play bishop b7. So he played what? He played g6. So, what to do here with white? It seems that Koop was ready. He played e4. He was not afraid. There, you see, the new generation nowadays doesn't really seem to have that much respect for top players. I'm not saying that in a bad way. I'm saying that they are confident in their knowledge. They analyze probably a lot with computers, and they feel that they're ready to play anything. And even if they sacrifice a pawn for some initiative, that's the way chess has evolved nowadays. We like, including myself, we like to be dynamic, a lot of us. So here's what he did. He gave the pawn away, and he didn't go for bishop g2. In fact, he played bishop d3 here, which might surprise you maybe, because you have g3 and you normally want to put the bishop in g2. Why would you develop it here? Well, because it's with tempo. So definitely this was played before actually, and white really needs to he's giving a pawn, okay? He's giving a pawn, and black kind of has to take it. Otherwise, there'll be some e5 coming very fast. Bishop g5 pinning you. I mean, you don't want that. Besides, your b5 pawn is also hanging, so you really need to be careful here. Okay, taking the pawn, but then find a way to protect. f5, knight c3. And in this position, actually, castle was played before by Glazerov, and he won against Sahaj Grover in Dubai 2008. And that was after bishop g7, knight bd2, castle. Now basically white gets his pawn back, and he has some advantage in development. And now when black actually finally tries to get out his knight from b8, there's d6. There's knight g5 coming, and that game was another crazy game that deserves being seen. But it seems that Koop didn't go for the castle. He went for knight c3, more dynamic. Now I'm attacking e4, I'm attacking b5, and I'm telling you I'm not gonna castle yet. Let me just see what you're doing. And black is forced to capture. Pawn takes, bishop g7, and now, until here, everything was played before, you know? I mean, everything was played before. White castled here in the last game that was I found in a database between Sujirov and Boharov in 2012. White castled. And also the computer suggests castle. It's natural to finish your development and then try to figure out how you're getting your pawn back, which, okay, you might get back. Castle, and now bishop takes, and okay, black is not going to take in c3 here. After rook b1, you're going to have to, basically you're opening the diagonal for myself as well. And you're going to have big troubles with my bishop in b5. You're going to have troubles playing d6 and developing your knight, because there'll always be bishop c6 stuff. So that game was definitely great. I'm sure Jan Timman had preparations, but the young Koop didn't go for that. He played bishop g5. And from now on, just the game gets crazy. Bishop g5 is actually not the best move in the position, because black can just capture in c3 with check, which is something he couldn't have done if he would castle. He would have to do something about his king. And after king f1, now bishop f6 would have been good, because I just took one more pawn, and now I'm going to play king f7, rook e8, and try to develop as much as possible. Yes, white still has compensation with this king in the center, but it's definitely much harder when you have two pawns down. So Jan Timman didn't take the pawn. He played bishop f6 directly, and after queen e2, another move that is strange for me, he played king f8. It's more natural to play king f7 so that you keep the rook to come to e8, you know? Just be careful when your king remains in the center. Try to make sure when you're gonna bring it back to safety that your pieces are gonna get out eventually too. King f8 is just not really helping this rook in h8. You need to lose one more move to bring the rook. And now Koop just captured. Castle. Okay, I'm finishing the development. Now I do want that pawn. c4, bishop c2, so far natural. And now Timman just decided to develop his pieces. That just feels natural, right? But he's really way behind in development. And after knight a6, Koop found this very nice move that I like, a4. So he's not going for rook e1 so that you develop your bishop and defend from the mate. No, now I'm attacking the other side too, because with b5, c4, your pawn chain, you're not going to be able to hold it. And here knight c7 probably was, okay, something that Timman could have considered to knight to come to defense, but just here after knight e5, queen d6, I take, this pawn is hanging. I mean, this position is just great for white. So Jan Timman played b4, okay, trying to keep the position kind of closed, but queen takes c4. I mean, you can't really keep it closed. I'm just getting everything you give me now, because I'm done developing, and now I just need to get back to win my pawns back. After b takes c3, rook e1. Now I'm getting ready for some mating stuff soon. d6, okay, let me try to develop my pieces. But d6 weakens the spot. c6. Immediately, young Koop went queen c6, attacking the rook. Now, check. Another move to bring a piece in attack, rook a to e1, threatening rook to e7. What to do? Bishop b7, trying to get some pieces out. Check. Now, very beautiful finish. Try to pause the video and find it. Takes, rook e7, threatening mate. What to do? And also, you can't play rook h8 because I take your bishop. And after this, queen e6 and black resign. I have so many threats here. I'm threatening this check. I'm threatening to take. And actually, in this position, the g4 was much nicer, because now I'm just mating you. Check, mate. but queen e6 was enough for black to resign. Really nice game. I hope you enjoyed it. Stay tuned for more tomorrow.